Retro games hold a special place in gamers' hearts, evoking childhood memories and a unique sense of nostalgia. In recent years, many classics have been revitalized with remakes and remasters that not only honor their origins, but elevate the experience with modern graphics, improved mechanics, and new layers of depth. Today, I bring you 10 retro games that have made a big comeback, even surpassing their original versions in some cases. I'm Matthew, and we're starting the list with the Streets of Rage series, originally released by Sega in the 1990s for the Mega Drive, a milestone in beat-em-up games. The first Streets of Rage, released in 1991, won fans over with its fluid gameplay, iconic soundtrack, and urban aesthetic. The combination of hand-to-hand combat, charismatic characters, and a simple narrative about fighting crime in a chaotic city defined the genre. Streets of Rage 4, released in 2020 by Dotemu, Lizard Cube, and Guard Crush Games, arrives almost 3 decades later with the mission of honoring this legacy while modernizing the formula. Streets of Rage 4 maintains the essence of the classic beat-em-up, but refines the mechanics with precision. Combat is deeper, with more elaborate combos, special moves that temporarily consume energy, and a greater variety of enemies that require specific strategies. Unlike the original, which was more limited in terms of mechanics, the fourth game introduces a star moves system and the possibility of recovering health by connecting combos, encouraging a more technical playstyle. Released in 1989, the original Prince of Persia, created by Jordan Mechner, revolutionized platform games with its fluid animation, obtained through rotoscoping, and an engaging narrative for the time, where the player had only 60 minutes in real time to save the princess. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, released in 2024 by Ubisoft, marks the return of the franchise after a significant hiatus, adopting the Metroidvania genre in 2.5D. Although not a direct sequel, The Lost Crown rescues the acrobatic spirit and essence of the Persian mythology of the original, modernizing it with contemporary mechanics. The Lost Crown pays homage to the 1989 Prince of Persia by returning to the SUD platform format, but with 3D graphics that create a vibrant 2.5D aesthetic. Unlike the original, which focused on linear platform challenges and simple combat, the new game adopts the Metroidvania structure with an interconnected map on Mount Kof, full of secrets and areas unlocked by new abilities, such as double jump and teleportation. This approach expands exploration, something the original did not offer due to the technological limitations of the time. The fluidity of Sargon's movements, the new protagonist, echoes the agility of the Nameless Prince from 1989, but with more precise and responsive controls, benefiting from decades of advances in game design. The original Doom, released in 1993 by ID Software, is widely recognized as the father of first-person shooter games, defining the genre with its frenetic gameplay, pulsating soundtrack, and level design that mixed intense action with labyrinthine exploration. Its simplicity and focus on direct combat against demonic hordes in hellish scenarios won over a generation, but the technological limitations of the time restricted visual and mechanical depth. Doom 2016, developed by the same ID Software, surpassed the classic by modernizing these elements without losing the visceral essence that made the original iconic. The introduction of the Glory Kills system brought a strategic layer, encouraging players to move constantly and finish off enemies with brutal executions, restoring health and ammunition in the process, which reinforces the relentless pace. The soundtrack, composed by Mick Gordon, combines industrial metal with electronic beats, creating a sonic immersion that amplifies the adrenaline of the confrontations. Graphically, the game uses the idTech 6 engine to offer impressive visuals, with detailed scenarios ranging from technological bases on Mars to hellish landscapes filled with lava and darkness. By balancing fidelity to the classic with modern innovations, Doom 2016 not only revived the franchise, but established a new standard for the genre, surpassing the cultural and technical impact of the original by delivering an experience that is both nostalgic and revolutionary. Resident Evil 2, released in 1998 by Capcom, was a watershed moment in the survival horror genre, consolidating the formula of atmospheric terror, scarce resource management, and cinematic narratives initiated by its predecessor. The story of Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield facing zombies in Raccoon City, combined with the fixed camera and tank controls, created a tense and memorable experience, despite the graphical and interface limitations of the PlayStation era. The Resident Evil 2 remake of 2019 transcends the original by completely reimagining the experience with a modern approach that respects its roots. The replacement of the fixed camera with an over-the-shoulder perspective intensifies immersion, allowing players a more direct and claustrophobic view of the oppressive environments, such as the Raccoon City police station, now recreated with photorealistic details using the re-engine. The AI of Mr. X was reformulated to make him a constant and unpredictable threat, chasing players in real time and increasing tension with his heavy footsteps echoing through the corridors. The combat mechanics were refined, with more precise aiming and a localized damage system that allows strategically dismembering zombies, maintaining the challenge of managing ammunition and healing items. The narrative was expanded with more elaborate cutscenes, rewritten dialogues, and greater development of secondary characters such as Marvin Branagh and Ada Wong, who gain more emotional depth. Final Fantasy VII, released in 1997 by Square, is a milestone in RPGs, revolutionizing the genre with its epic narrative about Cloud Strife and the group Avalanche fighting against the Shinra Corporation and the villain Sephiroth. The game combined pre-rendered graphics, a materia system for customizing abilities, and a memorable soundtrack by Nobuo Uematsu, but was limited by the technology of the time, with rudimentary polygonal visuals and dialogues in blocks of text. The Final Fantasy VII Remake of 2020, developed by Square Enix, surpasses the original by reimagining the Midgar section with a visual, narrative, and mechanical depth that was impossible in the PlayStation 1 era. The hybrid gameplay combines real-time action with tactical commands, allowing players to control characters in dynamic combats while managing abilities and spells reminiscent of the materia system. This approach modernizes the experience without abandoning the strategic essence of the original. The graphics, built on Unreal Engine 4, offer detailed environments and realistic facial expressions, bringing iconic locations like the Mako reactor and Sector 7 to life. The narrative was significantly expanded, with secondary characters like Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge receiving more developed arcs, which adds emotional layers to the story. The remake also introduces new narrative elements, such as the Whispers, which add an intriguing, though divisive, meta-narrative layer that expands the game's universe.
Okay, let's move.
Red Dead Revolver, released in 2004 by Rockstar Games, was a linear action game set in the Old West, following the revenge story of gunslinger Red Harlow. Despite its solid gameplay and captivating Western aesthetic, the game was limited by its linear structure, dated graphics, and relatively simple narrative, restricted by the technology of the time. The Red Dead franchise, with emphasis on Red Dead Redemption from 2010, and Red Dead Redemption 2 from 2018, surpasses the original by transforming the concept into an open-world experience that redefines the standards of narrative and immersion in games. Red Dead Redemption 2, in particular, is a technical and narrative masterpiece, offering a vast and living world where every detail from the day and night cycle to the behavior of the NPCs contributes to unprecedented immersion. The The story of Arthur Morgan, an outlaw in search of redemption, is told with an emotional depth that rivals great cinematic works, supported by exceptional voice acting and a script that explores themes of loyalty, morality, and the decline of the Old West. The game mechanics, such as the honor system, narrative choices, and dynamic interactions with the environment, offer a freedom that Revolver could never achieve. Combat has been improved with realistic shootings, advanced physics for horses and weapons, and a survival system that requires managing resources such as food and rest. Graphically, the game is a milestone, with stunning landscapes ranging from snowy mountains to humid swamps, all rendered with meticulous detail. The Red Dead franchise surpasses Revolver by expanding its vision in scale and ambition, creating an experience that not only honors the Western genre, but elevates the narrative and interactive potential of video games as a whole.
They deliberately withhold medicine and supplies from us.
This ends today. You have my word on that.
Why are you getting involved in this, Dutch?
You know me. We shoot fellers as need shooting. We save fellers as need saving. Feed them as need feeding.
Not this again. It's been quite a while since we helped anyone but ourselves, and even you know that.
I told you. Noise. We need noise, Arthur.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night, released in 1997 by Konami, is widely considered the pinnacle of Metroidvanias, defining the genre with its non-linear exploration, RPG elements, and gothic aesthetic. The story of Alucard, exploring Dracula's castle with a progression system based on skills and equipment, captivated players with its balance between challenge and discovery. However, the graphical and technical limitations of the time restricted the scale and depth of the game. Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, released in 2019 and led by Koji Igarashi, refined and expanded the formula of the classic using modern technology. The game features Miriam, a charismatic protagonist who explores a demonic castle using a system of shards that allows absorbing abilities from enemies, offering a much deeper and varied gameplay customization than the Symphony system. The visuals, although in 2.5D, combine detailed sprites with modern lighting effects, creating a vibrant and immersive gothic world. Bloodstained also expands the experience with a greater variety of enemies, bosses, and secret areas, in addition to offering multiple endings and game modes, such as Classic Mode and roguelike challenges, which increase replayability. The level design is more ambitious, with interconnected areas that encourage exploration and reward curiosity with secrets and upgrades. Contra, released in 1987 by Konami, is an icon of run-and-gun action games, known for its intense gameplay, high difficulty, and cooperative style that challenged players to face hordes of alien enemies with varied weapons. The futuristic military aesthetic, combined with an energetic soundtrack, defined an era of arcades, but the technical limitations of the time-restricted narrative and visual depth. Contra Rogue Core from 2019 reimagines the franchise with an approach that expands the original formula. Unlike the 2D side-scrolling style of the original, Rogue Core adopts an isometric perspective with 3D graphics, allowing greater dynamism in movements and combats. The game introduces a cast of playable characters, each with unique abilities and weapons, such as the cyborg Kaiser and the alien Hungry Beast, adding strategic variety to the gameplay. The weapon customization system, which allows modifying and improving equipment, offers a tactical depth absent in the original Contra, encouraging players to adapt their builds to different situations. The narrative, although not the main focus, presents a more elaborate plot set in a post-apocalyptic world devastated by the war against aliens, with cutscenes and dialogues that give more context to the characters. The soundtrack maintains the frenetic spirit with modern tracks that echo the classic style, while the visuals, although less polished than other contemporary games, deliver chaotic and action-packed environments. Despite mixed reviews due to radical changes in the formula, Rogue Core surpasses the original by offering a more varied and customizable experience. maintaining the essence of unbridled action while adapting to the expectations of a current audience with greater freedom and gameplay options. Super Mario Bros., released in 1985 by Nintendo, is a milestone in the history of video games, practically defining the 2D platform genre with its precise gameplay, intuitive level design, and charisma of the mascot Mario. The simplicity of Mario and Luigi's adventure to save Princess Peach, combined with responsive controls and an iconic soundtrack by Koji Kondo, made the game a timeless classic, but its graphical and mechanical limitations reflected the technology of the time. Super Mario Odyssey from 2017, developed for the Nintendo Switch, takes the franchise to the realm of 3D with unprecedented scale and creativity. The introduction of Cappy, Mario's sentient hat, revolutionizes the gameplay by allowing the player to capture enemies and objects, assuming their abilities, which adds a layer of variety and experimentation never seen in the series. Each kingdom, such as the vibrant New Donk City and the Desert Sand Kingdom, is an open world full of secrets, collectibles, power moons, and challenges that encourage exploration. Odyssey also refines the controls with a fluidity that allows acrobatic combos such as dives and hat throws, making movement one of the most satisfying in the series. The narrative, although simple, is enriched with charismatic interactions between Mario and Cappy, as well as cultural details in each kingdom that bring the world to life. Super Mario Odyssey surpasses the classic by expanding the platform formula into an expansive, creative, and accessible experience, maintaining the charm and precision that made Super Mario Bros. Legendary while establishing a new standard for 3D platform games. Crash Bandicoot, released in 1996 by Naughty Dog, was a milestone in 3D platform games on the PlayStation, with its challenging gameplay, charismatic animation, and linear levels that mixed precise jumps, colorful enemies, and a vibrant cartoon-inspired aesthetic. The story of Crash facing Dr. Neo Cortex was simple but captivating, with graphical and camera limitations typical of the time. Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time from 2020, developed by Toys for Bob, refined and expanded the formula with a modern approach that honors the legacy of the series. The gameplay maintains the essence of 3D platforming, but introduces the quantum masks, which grant abilities such as time and gravity manipulation, adding variety and complexity to the challenges. Graphically, the game is a spectacle, with fluid animations, vibrant colors, and character designs that modernize the cartoon style without losing the original charm. The narrative was expanded, with more elaborate cutscenes and the inclusion of playable characters such as Coco, Tana, and even Cortex, each with distinct playstyles that enrich the experience. The soundtrack, composed by Walter Mayer, combines nostalgic themes with modern arrangements, maintaining the fun energy of the original. Crash 4 balances accessibility for new players with a high level of difficulty for old fans, with optional challenges such as time relics and flashback levels.
Crash! Quickly, we must go!
System Shock, released in 1994 by Looking Glass Studios, was a pioneer of immersive science fiction games, combining elements of FPS, RPG, and adventure in a complex narrative about a hacker facing the AI Shodan on a space station. Its innovative gameplay with free exploration, system manipulation, and environmental narrative was revolutionary but limited by rudimentary graphics and clumsy controls. The System Shock remake of 2023, developed by Night Dive Studios, rebuilt the experience while maintaining the essence that made the classic influential. The gameplay was updated with fluid and intuitive controls, compatible with modern FPS standards, while preserving the freedom of exploration and interaction with the environment, such as hacking systems and solving puzzles. The graphics, rebuilt with Unreal Engine 4, transform the Citadel Station into a detailed cyberpunk scenario, with dynamic lighting and designs that amplify the oppressive atmosphere. Shodan's AI gains new life with improved dubbing and more threatening interactions, reinforcing her presence as one of the most iconic villains in games. The RPG system has been expanded, with more options to customize skills and weapons, allowing different playstyles, such as stealth, direct combat, or hacking. The remake also improves accessibility with a clearer interface and support for different platforms, making the experience more friendly without sacrificing complexity. System Shock Remake surpasses the original by offering a faithful recreation that updates all technical and mechanical aspects, preserving the narrative depth and innovation that influenced games like BioShock and Dead Space, while delivering an engaging experience for a new generation of players. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you next time.
Good. You've managed to get out before the whole area depressurized. I've just uploaded you some cybernetic modules. You can use them to upgrade your cybernetic rig at the upgrade units in this area. There are 4 types of units in the next room, one for each subsystem of your cybernetic gear.